The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead like angry insects as I clocked in at the gas station at 11 p.m., the kind of hum that drills into your skull after hours alone. I'd been pulling nights here for 6 months, a rundown spot off the interstate where truckers and drifters stop for fuel and bad coffee. That night, the first car pulled up to pump 3 just after midnight, engine idle and low, headlights cutting through the fog. No one got out. I watched from the booth, the security camera feed grainy on my phone. The pump handle clicked into place by itself, or so it seemed in the shadows. Gas started flowing, the counter ticking up. $5, $10, $20. Still no movement from the car. Exhaustion from 3 straight shifts made me rub my eyes thinking it was a glitch, but the hose swayed slightly like someone was holding it, though the lot was empty under the sodium lamps. By 1 a.m., the tank should have been full, but the numbers kept climbing. $50, $100. I stepped outside, the cold air biting, gravel crunching under my boots. "Hey, you gonna pay for that?" My voice echoed flat against the silence. The car was an old sedan, windows fogged from the inside, no license plate visible. I knocked on the glass, nothing. The pump hit $200, the hose now pulsing rhythmically like a heartbeat. Back inside, I cut the pump remotely, heart pounding from the isolation. The lot's floodlights flickered, casting long shadows that stretched toward the booth. Then the intercom crackled, a soft, wet gurgle like someone breathing through liquid. I checked the camera. Pump 3 was active again, counter resetting to 0, then climbing. No one there. Paranoia set in around 2:30, my coffee gone cold, the radio static hissing warnings about a storm. I heard footsteps outside, slow and deliberate, circling the building. Peering out, I saw wet boot prints leading to the door, but the lot empty. The pump hit $500, hose now dripping something dark onto the concrete, not gas, thicker. At 3 a.m., I called the cops, voice shaky, explaining the endless fueling. They laughed it off as a prank, but as I hung up, the sedan's door creaked open, just a sliver. Inside, a shape slumped in the driver's seat, unmoving. The pump stopped at $911.09. Sirens approached, but by then the car was gone. Prints evaporated. The security tape showed me alone activating the pump myself in my sleep-deprived haze. But I know what I heard that night. The gurgle turned into a whisper. "Fill her up." Now every shift I check the pumps twice, wondering if it's me or something else out there in the dark.
The CB radio crackled to life at 1 a.m. as I hauled freight through the empty Midwest highways, tires humming on wet asphalt, my only company the dashboard glow and the ache in my back from 12 hours behind the wheel. "Breaker, breaker, anyone copy?" No response, just static. I'd been a long-haul trucker for 4 years, nights blending into one endless ribbon of road. But that run felt off from the start. In the side mirror, I caught a glimpse, a figure in the passenger seat, hunched, face obscured by shadows. I glanced over, empty, just my thermos and maps. Exhaustion playing tricks, I thought, popping another caffeine pill. The rain picked up, wipers thumping like a distant heartbeat, the cab's heat fogging the glass. By 2 a.m., the figure appeared again, clearer this time, pale hands folded in its lap, sitting still as death. I swerved slightly, heart jolting, but the seat was vacant. Radio hissed, faint whispers, words like "closer" buried in the noise. I turned it off, focusing on the yellow lines blurring ahead, isolation pressing in like the darkness outside. Around 3:30 a.m. during a fuel stop at a deserted rest area, I checked the cab, nothing. But climbing back in, the rear view showed it behind me now, breath fogging the mirror from inside. I spun around. Empty bunk. Paranoia gripped me. Was it a hitchhiker I'd forgotten? The loneliness of the road amplified every creak, every shadow. Pushing on, the whispers grew. My name repeated softly. At 4 a.m., it leaned forward in the mirror, features sharpening, a face like mine, but gaunt, eyes hollow from endless shifts. "Your turn to drive," it mouthed. I slammed on the brakes, truck shuddering to a halt on the shoulder. Mirrors clear now, but my reflection looked wrong. Tired, yes, but something else staring back. I finished the run at dawn, quitting trucking soon after. Dashcam footage showed nothing, just me talking to myself. But on bad nights, alone in my car, I avoid the mirrors, knowing whatever rode with me that shift might still be waiting for its turn.
Story 3. The Room That Checked In. The lobby clock ticked past midnight as I settled into the hotel reception desk. The faint hum of the vending machine, the only sound in the empty foyer. I'd been night auditing here for 2 years, a quiet downtown spot with faded carpets and dim chandeliers, handling late check-ins and the occasional drunk guest. That night, the phone rang at 12:15 a.m. "Room 413, please?" No caller ID, just static on the line. I checked the system. 413 was vacant, cleaned that afternoon. "Wrong number," I muttered, hanging up. But minutes later, the elevator dinged, doors opening to an empty car. Footsteps echoed down the hall above, slow and measured, like someone dragging luggage. Isolation hit hard. No other staff until 6 a.m., just me and the security monitors flickering in the back office. By 1 a.m., the system glitched. Room 413 showed occupied, guest name blank. I radioed maintenance, nothing. Climbing the stairs, the air grew colder, lights buzzing erratically. At the door, I knocked. Silence. Then a faint rustle inside, like sheets shifting. Key card in hand, I entered. Bed made, room empty, but the bathroom mirror fogged as if someone had just showered. Back at the desk, paranoia brewed with my third coffee. At 2:30 a.m., the phone again. "This is 413. Send up towels." Voice muffled, familiar somehow. I ignored it, but the monitor showed a shadow passing the camera on floor 4, human-shaped, pausing at 413's door. Exhaustion blurred my vision by 3 a.m. Was it a squatter? The elevator moved on its own, stopping at my floor. Doors opened, empty, but a wet footprint trailed to the desk. The system updated. Guest name, mine. Heart racing, I bolted to 413, door ajar now. Inside, the TV flickered static, bed rumpled, a note on the pillow, late checkout. Police found no evidence, blaming fatigue. I switched to days, but sometimes I dream of that room, wondering if it was waiting for me to check in permanently. The hotel still rents 413. I hope no one answers the phone.
The hospital corridor lights dimmed to half power at 11 p.m. as I started my nursing shift in the East Wing, monitors beeping softly like a lullaby for the unconscious. I'd been here 9 months, tending elderly patients overnight in an understaffed county facility, empty halls, the scent of antiseptic masking something older, mustier. That shift, room 212's vent hissed unusually, a rhythmic wheeze like labored breathing. I checked the patient, an 82-year-old woman, stable on oxygen. Just the AC, I told myself, adjusting her IV in the sterile glow. But the sound persisted, syncing with her inhales, then continuing after I left. Loneliness amplified it. No colleagues nearby, just the echo of my footsteps. By 1 a.m., other vents joined in, subtle at first, a collective sigh through the ducts. I paged maintenance, no answer. And room 209, an empty bed, the wheeze grew wetter, like congestion. Paranoia from back-to-back nights made me question, mold? A leak? The air felt heavier, colder. At 2:30 a.m. during rounds, 212's patients stirred, whispering, "It's in the walls." Her eyes darted to the vent. I shone my flashlight up. Dust, shadows, but something shifted, a brief glint like eyes reflecting. Heart thudding, I backed out, the breathing now following me down the hall. Exhaustion peaked at 4 a.m., alarms silent, but the vents roared, a chorus of gasps, choking. In the nurse's station, I huddled, hearing scratches behind the grates. One vent cover rattled, dust puffing out with a cough not mine. Morning shift arrived. Vents normal, patients fine. They called it sleep deprivation. I requested transfers, but on quiet nights at home, I hear it in my own vents, the breath waiting to sync with mine, wondering what climbs through when no one's listening.